Hello everyone, welcome to the video, and today I'll finally do sort of a double of a video idea that I wanted to do. So first is patch from scratch, and second is that we are going to start looking at the MultiWave and in the same time the new universal synthesizer system by Make Noise. I don't have all the modules, so we are missing a GTE and a jumbler. The only things that we have patched right now, we have this, which is the channel index, and we'll go to that shortly. That is going out from MultiWave into polymaths. And then we have just a few patch cables so that the QXGs are connected together, and then the QXGs go to the QPass, because that is the sort of default that I 95% of the time start with. We could obviously skip the QPass cables and go straight to the mixer that you can see here. But we'll do this today. And so, why isn't it not going back? Hold on. Here we are. Okay, I have the manual here on a pad, and I'll try to explain, because something that I learned recently by revisiting the manual or video manual by Make Noise. That they have wonderful video manual. I think it's Pete from Make Noise that is doing that. Could be that Walker is also doing some of them. At least he did earlier. But what I did find that I didn't understand earlier is that for my setup in page 2, you can see red here, and this means that the output mixing is off, so that each channel is activated only in that slot, because otherwise in this mode we would have some mono mixes of oscillator A in output 5. In output 6 we would have a mono mix of oscillator B, and then on output 7 we would have odd channels, so 1, 3, 5, 7, and on 8 we would have 2, 4, 6, 8. And for my setup, because everything is connected in the background, that's why you see 8 outputs here and 8 outputs here, but they're not connected anywhere, and nothing is connected in, let's go back, nothing is connected to the inputs or the CV inputs in QXGs, because that's connected in the background. So let's do that quickly. So in the MultiWave modes, we have the yellow, which we are going to be in for today's video, which is round, which means it's going from the channel we've set to the end and then comes back after each activation. And then on the blue one, you would be activating each one from the set. And then white is sort of expecting a channel index, or you could just use one voice. But for today's video, we're using the yellow one, and that will again activate each channel on each activation from the point we've set it, and it will be from channel 1. Blue cable is our gate from the same sequencer channel, because Arturia gives us 4 channels, but we're only going to use 1 for this video, and that we are going to push to activate. So now, when I then first also take from QPass, we will take these pink cables from the background. You cannot see me, but 2 pink cables, right? And we are going to put them to the low pass of the QPass, And then we are going to put them to the, just showing you to the aux mix by Intellijel to the first channel, so left and right. We will change this to mimeophone, and I will tell you when I do that. But first, let's just hear the without any effects, so we can have a good understanding of what's going on with just the voice. And now we should have sound. I think that's a bit out of tune, so let me tune in for you guys and I'll edit us back. Yeah, it was the tune that was... I don't think we were out of tune. We are now one octave higher here, so let's... I can, with the Arturia, I can go one octave down, so let's do that. So in the background, we are just setting up, so I have another blue cable coming from the clock out on the Arturia. So we are going to feed that to the multimod and to the tempo. I always mix this up. I try to go there to the top, but that is not for clock. And now this is 8 differently timed sine LFOs. And that's what we will use for today. So right now we are in low pass. So high content is getting out. And that is probably not the best for this type of sound because it's not too low. So let's just change to bandpass instead. And that happens to be my favorite filter type. So now if we go to low, we have a bandpass. We're hearing not almost anything. Let's try to find a sweet spot for today. I think that's quite nice. So we'll keep it simple on that front. And let's go now to the voices. So the different oscillators on the MultiWave. So that we access from page 2. And then we start telling it, okay, we want from the red bank, which is like classic shapes. And now I refresh my manual here so that I know what I'm talking about. This module is quite a lot. I've been trying to learn it on and off, but then I fell in love with the telharmonic that is now just off the screen. And I've been playing with that quite a lot. So in the basic wavetable or classic shape wavetable, we have a tri-saw, tri-square, tri-saw square PVM. So this is a wavetable, so we could, with the turning the wavetable around in page 1, we can access the different sort of sound. So that would already be 4 different sounds. Then 4 is a square PWM. Then we have sine square PWM. No, sine square saw. Yeah, I need to learn to read. Okay. Then we have a saw ramp combo. And then we have a super saw index. And I think super saw would be fun with the low pass. So let's not do that now. And then we have a sine DC clip. But for today, I think I want a really basic sound. So let me find our tri-saw, so the first one. And then we need to do the same on the second oscillator, so the A oscillator, and we go back. Now we see red shape. Now I will check what multimod, so we have... This is the crazy part about this module. So we do have some sort of modulation built in to this module. So when this is purple, this oscillator A is purple, this will tell the module that we begin the modulation from beginning of table to the position that we set it in page 1. And then if it's off, so this one, now you cannot see the light anymore. So then it would modulate from the wave position to the end. So now I like the one that is going, this one, that is going from a beginning to the one we've set, because I can set that to be more subtle, whereas in the default that is off, then it would be a bit more wild, and that can be good for some sounds, of course. The correct patch is the one that you make yourself, but you have to learn how to patch first. So in the oscillator B shape, so this one, I have it right now off, so the multimod shape is free running and not affected by activations. Then if it was magenta, it will reset upon activation. And if it's cyan, it's one shot. So it will read it through once upon activation and then stop. But I want it off. And then we had the output mixing that we talked about earlier. We have it off. Okay. Let's exit page 2. All right, and then let's set up something nice. Let's put the attenuators for now to middle. Oh, this is detune. Let's not touch that. Okay, and let's put the spread also to middle. So spread is the built-in modulation, to really simply put it. So let's now first, before we start touching more knobs, before we start changing anything, let's have a really simple sequence. And let's have it in 8, we can change the BPM later, but let's do this. Something like this. Yeah, let's listen to that. Let's slow it down a bit. All right, so with the time, let's do this first and then let's start activating. You can see it from the color that the modulation is getting faster and slower. Because it's synced to the clock, it's trying to catch up. So let's have something really slow. And let's slow down even more. So now we are at exactly 80 BPM. So let's take a nice lengthy cable and let's take one of these slow ones from the multimod and let's put it to the fall in polymaths. Yeah, now we can hear that. Let's shorten the fall now. So we can hear that voices are going on top of each other. And it can get quite extreme. So let's do the other way around. Let's make it shorter with the modulation. All right, let's shorten the rise just a bit and let's change the shape. I think that's quite nice. Okay, let's take another patch cable. And let's modulate now the A wave here from multimod. And we are just hearing the A. So let's now bring the B also. Let's hear just the B. And now let's do the same here. So let's first let some modulation through and let's bring another patch cable. I'll take this long one that I had lying closer here. So it's fine. Too short and you can't make it work. But with this sort of simple setup, a bit too long, you can make it work. And let's bring back the A. So we right now have quite a subtle setup. So let's activate the mod shape. Let's have a subtle one, so let's do purple on both of them. And now let's do something funny, so let's take this off for a moment. And let's spread now to the right, so that is oscillator. No, the oscillator, the voices from 5 to 8 will get more. Let's apply mod to the mod time. And time is the same as in multimod, so the most time means the longest. And this is really short. As you can hear, it's almost like an amplitude modulation type of thing. And now let's apply the polymaths oscillator modulation. And let's shorten the rise with that just a bit. So this is now just the polymaths. Yeah, I think that's quite funky. So let's return now the modulation from multimod. Now let's take the really soft one from the multimod. I think 3 looks quite soft, I could be wrong. And let's put that to the Q pass frequency. So let's pause for the moment. So what we've learned today for now is that setting up the MultiWave is important. You can do this by the way I've shown you. You can also access the great manuals on the Make Noise YouTube channel. I'll link it below in the description. I'm sure they don't mind. I stopped the sequence. I'll take advantage of that. And now I'm... how can I show this? Hopefully I don't screw anything up. We'll take the Q pass. This is left, right. And so that I can access the cables, I'll now put the camera back. And we'll just patch the mimeophone in. so that we can get some lovely delay, because that hasn't changed from my guitar days. I still love delay. Let's have the mix off so that we can hear how much it changes. All right, let's start back the sequence. Let's stop the modulation on frequency. All right, let's introduce the mimeophone. A mimeophone is the greatest delay because it has some reverb. Let's just show it back again. So these are the settings. It's in a delay mode. We have a nice amount of repeats. We can increase the mix to about 50. We'll turn the color just a bit down. Let's increase the rate just a bit. So increasing the rate means that you basically increase the milliseconds of the delay. And I'll leave that there because it's sounding quite lovely. And I think that's all I'll have for you today. So until next time, take care.